Welcome to another informative session with EverlastCyber. In today's video, we'll be looking at the Virtualization and Cloud Computing domain of the CompTIA A Certification Exam. We'll be going through explanations for each of the questions that we'll come across to help you understand the concepts behind the questions and how best to answer them. So, let's begin. Question 1. What is the key benefit of using a virtual machine software to run multiple operating systems simultaneously on a single computer? A. Lower cost. B. Improved security. C. Testing environment. D. Faster performance. While virtualization can lead to cost savings by reducing the need for a physical hardware, it is not the primary benefit of running multiple operating systems simultaneously. For option B, virtual machines can enhance security by isolating different environments, but running multiple operating systems on a single machine does not improve security. Security improvement depends on proper configuration and management of the virtual environment. For option C, a testing environment, virtual machine software allows users to create isolated environments where multiple operating systems can be run simultaneously on a single physical machine. Option D, running multiple operating systems simultaneously on a single computer typically does not result in a faster performance. So with respect to the question we have, the key benefit of using a virtual machine software to run multiple operating systems simultaneously is option C for testing environments. Now, this is useful for testing purposes because it enables developers and IT professionals to test softwares, applications, and configuration in different operating systems without the need for separate physical hardware. Now, VMs provide a safe and controlled environment in order to conduct tests, experiment with different setups, and also troubleshoot issues without affecting the main operating system or other virtual machines. So the primary benefit is what we have here. It creates a versatile and efficient testing environment. Question 2. Druyal wants employees to be able to access some legacy software that runs only on Windows 7. The company computers have all been upgraded to Windows 10 Pro. Which features need to be enabled first before creating the Windows 7 VM in Hyper-V? A. DEP and NX bits. B. IOMMU and page tables. C. TPM and secure boots. D. Virtualization support and SLAT. The DEP and NX bits, that's data execution prevention and no execute bits. This is not the answer. So a data execution prevention is a security feature that helps to prevent codes from running in certain regions of the memory where they are not intended to execute code. While the no execute bit or NX bit is a hardware-based security feature that works with the data execution prevention in order to mark certain areas of memory as non-executable. So this is not the answer we are looking for. Option B, IOMMU or Input-Output Memory Management Unit is a hardware feature that remaps device addresses to prevent unauthorized access to memory. This enhances security and isolation in virtual environments. For the page tables, data structures used by the operating systems to manage and map virtual memory addresses to physical memory addresses are essential for memory management, but this is not the answer we are looking for here. The TPM and secure boots, they are security modules and standards. So for the TPM or Trusted Platform module, it is a hardware-based security module that provides a secure cryptographic function and secure storage of cryptographic keys. While the secure boot is a standard that was developed to ensure that a device boots using only the software that is trusted by the original equipment manufacturer. For virtualization support and SLAT, this is likely the answer, but let's just go through it. Virtualization support needs to be enabled in the BIOS of the computer. because it will allow the hardware to support virtualization, and this is essential for running Hyper-V. The SLAT, or Second Level Address Translation, is also known as the Extended Page Tables in Intel processors. It helps to improve the performance of virtual machines by offloading some of the memory management to hardware. So for this, the feature that needs to be enabled first before creating the Windows 7 VMs in Hyper-V is option D, virtualization support and SLAT. Question 3. While CPM and secure boots are important for securing modern operating systems and ensuring trusted boot processes, they are not necessary for enabling virtualization features needed to run Windows 7 VMs in Hyper-V. Which of the following is a primary advantage of using virtualization technology in a corporate environment? A. Increased physical hardware requirements. B. Enhanced software compatibility. C. Improved resource utilization. D. Simplified networking infrastructure. For here, we'll be going with option C. The primary advantage of using virtualization technology in a corporate environment is to improve resource utilization. Virtualization technology allows multiple VMs to run on a single physical host, and this improves resource utilization by ensuring that the CPU is efficiently used, memory is efficiently allocated, as well as storage resources. This will inevitably lead to cost saving and better performance because it consolidates the workload on fewer physical servers. Question 4. Which benefit of cloud computing allows an organization to quickly scale its IT resources up or down as needed? A. Fixed pricing. B. Elasticity. C. On-premises management. D. Limited storage option. For here, the most likely answer will be option B. Elasticity in cloud computing is the ability to dynamically scale IT resources up or down in order to meet the ever-changing demand. This will allow organizations to efficiently manage resources, reduce costs, and also ensure that they have the necessary capacity during the peak usage times. Question 5. What type of service can be provided for a software development company looking to provide its developers with a platform that includes an OS, middleware, and runtime environments to enable them focus solely on writing the code? A. Virtual desktop infrastructure. B. Software as a service. C. Platform as a service. D. Infrastructure as a service. For this, let's go through the options. So a virtual desktop infrastructure provides a virtualized desktop environment to users. While it can give developers access to a consistent desktop environment, it doesn't provide the development platform, which will include the OS, middleware, and runtime environments. For software as a service, this only delivers software applications over the internet on a subscription basis. Users access these applications through a web browser. Some examples of software as a service is the Gmail suite that we know about that comprises of different applications in one suite. However, it is not designed to provide a development platform. Platform as a service, on the other hand, provides a complete platform that includes operating systems, middleware, and runtime environments, while infrastructure as a service provides a virtualized computing resource over the internet. It includes virtual machines, storage, and networking, but the installation and configuration of the operating system is left to the user. So the best answer here is option C, platform as a service. With platform as a service, developers can build, test, and deploy applications without worrying about the underlying infrastructure. It basically simplifies the development process by managing the infrastructure and providing essential services, which will allow the developers to focus on writing and optimizing their code. Question 6. An organization wants to implement desktop virtualization so employees can access their desktop from any device. What would this be an example of? A. VDI. B. IAAS. C. PAAS. D. SAAS. For this, we'll be going with option A because it's quite obvious. VDI is the use of virtual machines to provide and manage virtual desktop, and this will allow users to access their desktop environment remotely from any device, thereby providing flexibility and mobility. Question 7. In which cloud service model does the provider offer infrastructure components such as virtual machines, storage, and networks, but the customer is responsible for managing the operating systems, applications, and data? A. Software as a service. B. Platform as a service. C. Infrastructure as a service. D. Desktop as a service. For this, we'll be going with option C. Infrastructure as a service provides the virtualized computing resources over the internet, so it has the virtual machines, the storage, and the networks. However, the consumer is responsible for managing the operating system, the applications, and the data on these virtual resources. So this will allow greater flexibility and control compared to the other models, which is the platform as a service or the software as a service. Question 8. What is the key security advantage of using virtual machines on a single physical host? A. VMs can share data and applications without restriction. B. VMs provide stronger physical security than traditional servers. C. VMs operate in isolated environments, reducing the risk of cross-contamination. D. VMs require fewer updates and patches compared to physical servers. For this, the primary advantage or the key security advantage will be option C. So, the isolation of these VMs will ensure that if one VM is compromised, the other VMs on the physical hosts are not affected. So this will reduce the risk of cross-contamination and it will enhance the overall security. Question 9. Nancy runs multiple virtual machines on a Windows 10 desktop using VMware Workstation. What type of hypervisor is this? A. Native. B. Type 1. C. Type 2. D. Hosted. Going through the options, option A is not a term that is commonly used to describe hypervisors. Native generally refers to applications or softwares that runs directly on hardware without an intermediary layer. For option B, Type 1, this is also known as the bare metal hypervisor because it runs directly on the physical hardware and it manages the hardware resources for the virtual machines. Some examples of the Type 1 hypervisor is the VMware ESXi and the Microsoft Hyper-V. A Type 2 hypervisor, on the other hand, runs on top of an existing operating system, and it relies on the host operating system for resources and management. Option D, hosted, can describe the environment in which a Type 2 hypervisor operates, so the term Type 2 is more specific and accurate in this context. That's why we'll be going with option C. A common example of the Type 2 hypervisor is the VMware Workstation. Question 10. A company's critical application stopped working after an OS update. The IT admin decides to run the legacy app in a virtual machine with an older OS. This scenario best describes virtualization being used for A. Legacy software support. B. Sandbox testing. C. Server consolidation. D. Application development. Legacy software support is the use of virtualization to run older applications that are not compatible with newer operating systems. Sandbox testing involves running applications in a controlled or isolated environment in order to test for security and stability. Server consolidation involves using virtualization to reduce the number of physical servers by running multiple virtual machines on fewer physical servers, while application development is used by virtualization to provide an isolated development environment. So with respect to the scenario we have here, we'll be going with option A, legacy software support. This ensures that the critical legacy application continues to function without requiring significant changes to the existing infrastructure or the software itself. Question 11. In the context of cloud computing, which characteristic allows for the automatic adjustment of resources to meet fluctuating workload demands? A. On-demand self-service. B. Scalability. C. Broad network access. D. Resource consolidation. Looking at option A, on-demand self-service allows users to provision and manage resources as needed without requiring human intervention from the service provider. Now, while it is related, it does not specifically address the automatic adjustments based on workload fluctuations. Scalability is the ability to automatically adjust resources to accommodate changing workloads. Broad network access, this means that the cloud services are accessible over the network and can be used through standard mechanisms. While resource consolidation is the efficient use of resources by combining multiple workloads onto fewer resources to improve utilization and reduce costs. So with respect to this, we'll be going with option B. Scalability is the ability to automatically adjust resources like the CPU, memory, and storage to accommodate the changing workload. This means that when demand increases, additional resources can be provisioned automatically, and when the demand decreases, the resources can be scaled back. This will ensure the efficient use of resources and cost saving while maintaining performance and availability. Question 12. EverlastCyber wants to virtualize legacy OS and software so it can be accessed from different platforms. Which purpose of VMs best fits this scenario? A. Cross-platform. B. Sandbox. C. Test development. D. Application virtualization. For this, we'll be going with application virtualization, which is option D, but let's go through the other options. For option A, while virtualizing legacy operating system and software can enable cross-platform access, application virtualization specifically focuses on the isolation and deployment of the individual applications. Sandboxing isolates applications from the rest of the system for testing and security purposes. Test development involves creating environments for testing software. So, with respect to the question, the best possible answer is option D. Application virtualization encapsulates applications from the underlying operating system and allows legacy applications to be accessed and used across different platforms without the need to virtualize the entire operating system. This method provides flexibility in deploying applications, and it also ensures compatibility across various devices and operating systems. Question 13. A company seeks to move its e-commerce platform to the cloud for scalability to manage varying online traffic while adhering to stringent data privacy rules. They aim to leverage the public cloud scalability but are cautious about storing sensitive customer data offsite. Which cloud deployment strategy best meets these requirements? A. Hybrid cloud with data segregation. B. Pure private cloud. C. Pure public cloud with data encryption. D. Community cloud for retail businesses. Looking at the options, we already know that option D is out of it. So going through the options, a hybrid cloud with data segregation will strike the best balance by combining the scalability of the public cloud with the security and compliance benefits of keeping sensitive data within a controlled environment. For the other options, the pure private cloud, while it will offer full control over data, a pure private cloud will not provide scalability benefits of the public cloud. For option C, while data encryption enhances security, it may not fully address concerns about storing sensitive data offsite. For option D, this option involves sharing a cloud infrastructure among organizations with similar interests, and while it may offer some benefits, it does not address the need for data segregation and scalability across different types of data. So that's why we're going with option A, the hybrid cloud with data segregation. This will allow the company to leverage the scalability and flexibility of the public cloud for the non-sensitive operations, such as the fluctuating online traffic. At the same time, sensitive customer data can be kept within a private cloud to ensure compliance with strict data privacy regulations and maintain control over sensitive information. Question 14. EverlastCyber has a workforce that is constantly on the move, and employees need to access and modify certain files from various devices and locations. Which characteristic of cloud computing will best support a requirement that reflects changes made on one device on all other devices? A. Shared resources. B. Elasticity. C. Metered utilization. D. Broad network access. Shared resources is the pooling of computing resources to serve multiple consumers within a multi-tenant model. Now, while it is an important aspect of cloud computing, it does not address the need for access and synchronization across multiple devices. Elasticity is the ability to scale resources up or down automatically, so it doesn't really relate to this question. Metered utilization is a pay-as-you-go model where usage is tracked and billed. It doesn't relate to the question. Broad network access is a characteristic of cloud computing that ensures that services are available over the network and can be accessed through standard mechanisms. So this is the best option, option D. The broad network access will allow employees to access cloud resources from various devices like their laptops, tablets, or smartphones, and even from different locations. So the changes they make on one device are synchronized and reflected on all other devices through the cloud service. Question 15. Which cloud deployment model provides dedicated infrastructure for a single organization, offering the highest level of control and privacy? A. Public cloud. B. Private cloud. C. Hybrid cloud. D. Community cloud. Reading the question, the answer should be obvious that it is option B. A private cloud provides dedicated infrastructure and services exclusively for a single organization, and this will offer greater control, security, and privacy compared to the other deployment models. Question 16. A cloud provider groups servers and infrastructure together to be used in an on-demand and highly scalable way by multiple customers. What type of service is this? A. High availability. B. Rapid elasticity. C. Resource pooling. D. Measured services. High availability is the process of ensuring that systems are operational and accessible with minimal downtime, but it doesn't address the pooling of resources. Rapid elasticity is the ability of cloud services to scale rapidly and automatically in response to workload changes, but it doesn't describe the pooling of resources. Resource pooling, from the name, we should already know that this is a characteristic of cloud computing where the provider's computing resources are pooled together in order to serve multiple customers using a multi-tenant model. Measured services does not describe the pooling of infrastructure, so that is off the answer. The correct answer here is option C. With resource pooling, resources are dynamically allocated and reassigned according to demand, and this provides efficiency and scalability in resource utilization. Question 17. What technology is commonly used to secure data in transit between the user and cloud services? A. Firewall. B. Virtual private network. C. Intrusion detection system. D. Data encryption. The answer here is option B. A VPN or virtual private network creates a secure and encrypted tunnel over the internet, and this will ensure that data that is transmitted between the user and the cloud services remains private and protected from interception. Question 18. Which regulatory compliance standard focuses on protecting personal data and privacy within the European Union and the European Economic Area? A. HIPAA. B. PCI DSS. C. GDPR. D. SOC 2. HIPAA is a US regulation that ensures the protection and confidential handling of protected health information. PCI DSS relates to how organizations handle credit card transactions, and they have to maintain this security standard in order to protect cardholder data. GDPR is a data protection and privacy regulation in the EU, and it is aimed at protecting personal data and ensuring individuals have control over their personal information. While SOC 2 is a framework for managing customer data based on the 5 trust service principles, which are security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. So with respect to the question, the regulatory compliance standard that focuses on protecting personal data and privacy within the EU and the EEA is option C, the GDPR. This is aimed at protecting personal data and ensuring that individuals have control over their personal information. Question 19. Which security measure helps prevent unauthorized access to cloud services by verifying user identities and controlling access to resources? A. Data encryption. B. Multi-factor authentication. C. Intrusion detection system. D. Distributed denial of service protection. Let's go through the options. Option A. Data encryption secures data by converting it into a code in order to prevent unauthorized access, but it does not verify user identity or control access. Multi-factor authentication requires users to provide multiple forms of verification in order to access cloud services. Intrusion detection system monitors network traffic for suspicious activity and potential threats, but it does not verify user identities. Distributed denial of service protection helps to protect against attacks that are aimed at making a service unavailable. However, it doesn't involve the verification of user identity. So we'll be going with option B. MFA, or multi-factor authentication, enhances security by requiring users to produce multiple forms of verification like a password and a one-time code, and even sometimes a fingerprint, to access cloud services, and this will reduce the risk of unauthorized access even if the passwords are compromised. Question 20. What architecture pattern allows a single application to be deployed across multiple regions or data centers to improve performance and reliability? A. Global load balancing. B. Serverless architecture. C. Multi-cloud architecture. D. Microservices. Global load balancing distributes incoming network traffic across multiple servers in different geographic locations, ensuring optimal performance and availability for applications deployed across multiple regions. Serverless architecture is a cloud computing execution model where the cloud provider dynamically manages the allocation of machine resources. Multi-cloud architecture involves the use of multiple cloud services from different providers. However, it does not address the distribution of a single application across multiple regions or data centers. Microservices architecture structures an application as a collection of loosely coupled services. Now, while it can improve scalability and fault tolerance, it does not address global distribution. So that's not the answer we are looking for. The answer we are looking for is option A, global load balancing. Now, by the distribution of the incoming traffic across multiple servers in the different geographical location, it will ensure optimal performance, availability, and reliability for applications across multiple regions or data centers. Question 21. Which cloud networking technology allows for the extension of a private network across the public cloud, ensuring secure communication? A. Software-defined networking. B. Virtual private cloud. C. Content delivery network. D. Internet of Things. For this Based on the question, the best answer to go with is option B, the virtual private cloud. This allows the extension of a private network into the public cloud, and it provides secure and isolated networking environments within the public cloud infrastructure. Question 22. Which cloud computing feature ensures that services remain available even in the event of a hardware failure? A. Elasticity. B. Redundancy. C. Metered service. D. On-demand self-service. If we go through the options, we'll see that the best answer is option B. Redundancy is the duplication of critical components or functions of a system in order to increase reliability and ensure that services remains available even in the event of hardware failures or other issues. So when servers or other resources are redundant, if one of them fails, service can always switch to the next available one, thereby ensuring uptime and availability. Question 23. EverlastCyber switches from locally hosted email to web-based email through the browser. What service model does this depict? A. PAAS. B. IAAS. C. SAAS. D. Private cloud. PAAS, or Platform as a Service, provides a platform where customers can develop, run, and manage applications. Infrastructure as a Service provides a virtualized computing resource over the internet. Software as a Service is a cloud model that delivers software applications over the internet, and it is accessible through a web browser. Private cloud is a cloud computing environment that is dedicated to a single organization, thereby providing greater control over their data and security. With respect to the question where EverlastCyber is switching from the locally hosted email to a web-based email through the browser, we'll be going with option C. So with software as a service, users do not need to install or maintain the software locally. Instead, they can use it on demand. So by switching to a web-based email, EverlastCyber is using the SaaS model, where the email application is hosted and managed by a service provider, and users can access it through the internet. Question 24. Which cloud environment is characterized by services offered over the internet, available to anyone who wants to use or purchase them, and is maintained on third-party servers? A. Intercloud. B. Public cloud. C. Distributed cloud. D. Multi-tenancy cloud. An intercloud is an interconnected global cloud of clouds network, but it does not specifically make services available to the general public over the internet. Public cloud services are delivered over the internet and are available to anyone that wishes to use or purchase them. Distributed cloud involves distributing public cloud services to different physical locations, but it does not describe the availability and third-party maintenance aspects of the public cloud. Multi-tenancy is a cloud computing architecture where multiple customers or tenants share the same physical infrastructure while maintaining data isolation. So the cloud environment that is characterized by services offered over the internet, and it is available to anyone who wants to use or purchase them, and is also maintained on third-party servers, is option B, the public cloud. These services are maintained and managed by third-party providers who own the infrastructure. And some examples of the public cloud services are the Amazon Web Services or AWS, the Google Cloud Platform, and the Microsoft Azure. Question 25. What type of hypervisor runs directly on server hardware for faster performance? A. Type 1. B. Type 2. C. Native. D. Hosted. For this, we'll be going with option A. A Type 1 hypervisor is also known as the bare metal hypervisor, and it runs directly on the physical hardware of the host machine without the need for a host operating system. This will allow it to manage guest operating systems more efficiently and provide better performance and resource utilization. Some examples of the Type 1 hypervisors we have are the VMware ESXi and the Microsoft Hyper-V, as well as the Xen. This brings us to the end of the questions for the Virtualization and Cloud Computing part of the CompTIA A+ Certification Exam. Don't forget to like, comment and share, and also hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever our next video drops. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.